Casing the Cover is a monthly podcast where friends and library coworkers, Mary and Jen, review books, study the publishing industry, and try to unlock the secrets behind every cover. Can you judge a book by its cover? Join Mary and Jen on the case to find out. Hello, welcome to another episode of Casing the Cover, the podcast where today I get to explain to Jen who celebrities are. I am Mary, and with me as always is my co-host Jen. Hi, Jen.
Hello. And yes, I'm not going to deny that you're going to have to explain to me who these celebrities are.
I might not know who some of them are.
Do you have pictures?
I can show you the pictures. Let me screen share with you.
Okay, because if I have pictures, then I'm like, oh, I know that one. That's the one that played that person in that thing.
So today we are going to talk about celebrity authors, specifically celebrities who have quote unquote written fiction. So we're not so much talking about celebrities who have written like autobiographies, but celebrities who specifically have written fiction. I feel like an autobiography, even if the celebrity didn't write it themselves, they have to be giving enough of their life information to write it, and then someone else, is cleaning it up for them probably. So we're not talking about that. We're more talking about celebrities who have written fiction books and whether or not we think they actually wrote their books.
Yes. One of my favorite things is to say, hey, look, there's two authors on this book and neither one of them wrote it.
Right. Which brings us to the origin of this episode, which is that
no.
It was recently announced that James Paterson is releasing a novel with Dolly Parton of all people.
Dolly, what happened? We love you. You are loved. You did not have to go to the dark side.
This doesn't surprise me because Dolly Parton is the kind of person who throughout her career has kind of branched off into other media. She produces and she's been in film and, she's done other books, but I'm pretty sure they were all like autobiographical or they're like, they were more nonfiction, I feel, about like her life. I feel like
didn't she have something to do with, there were some other books recently that I thought that she had something to do with them.
The only one I really know about is it's like Coat of Many Colors or something. I'm pretty sure it's about her as a child.
Yes, that is about
But that's autobiographical.
Yeah.
But this is a fiction novel written, quote unquote, written by Dolly Parton and King of the Ghostwriters, James Paterson. The book is called Run, Rose, Run.
Oh my gosh.
I want to read you this because this is hilarious. So in March, Little Brown plans to publish Run, Rose, Run, a collaboration between Paterson and Parton, say that 10 times fast, in print, ebook, and audio editions. The novel about a young singer with a dark secret that inspires her music draws on Parton's experiences and the country music. And then it says, hold on. Parton will simultaneously release an album also titled Run, Rose, Run, featuring 12 new songs inspired by the novel. The songs are based on the characters and situations in the book, Parton said in a news release. The lyrics are threaded throughout the novel.
Oh, Dolly. What happened, Dolly? Oh, there's such potential here. And Paterson. And Paterson.
So the thing for me is, right, you ran the cover of the book. Talk about our covers. It's a Paterson cover, they're back of their head, but they're holding a guitar, so you know that it's also country. And right on the cover, James Paterson and Dolly Parton are the same size on the cover.
Yes.
Which is something you don't see a lot in Paterson. But it says on the cover of the book, also available, album of 12 original Dolly Parton songs made for the novel. It's like a marketing ploy for an album. Who releases a book to promote their album?
Oh, okay. But, before we delve deep into the celebrities and ghostwriting and things like that, I would like to say that I actually do have some professional insight on this one. You know this, and maybe some of our other listeners know this. I have ghostwritten books for people. And I am not saying that it is wrong to have a ghostwriter. In fact, more power to you. I like a paycheck. But also, I do think that most people who get ghostwriters are people who are not writers. They are people like Dolly Parton, who is more about music and songwriting, and she probably writes really beautiful lyrics, and she does all that. But there's a big difference between writing lyrics and writing a novel. And I will not say that I'm good at lyric writing, but it's like, hey, if Dolly Parton or somebody else who writes songs were to come to me and say, hey, I have a bunch of poems which is basically what songs are, a bunch of poems that I'd like to expand out into chapters in a novel. I'd like to turn this into a story. And I'd be like, yeah, that sounds like an awesome project. Not saying that I haven't done this sort of project or that I might have done this sort of project or anything like that. But I can totally see like that makes sense. But the big issue is freaking Paterson again.
I don't think that's the only issue. I think that it's Paterson. This book is being sold on two very famous names. But like I said, it's almost like the book is being used to promote the album.
Which is fine.
I wonder how it says that the songs are incorporated in the book. I really wonder how. Is it like the lyrics and the songs reference moments in the book? Or is it gonna be like when you're reading like old bad fan fiction where like you just scroll through half the story and there's a block of text of some emo song in the middle of it, or like, you know, the character's like, oh, I'm writing this song, and it's just a chunk of Dolly Parton song text, and then, you know, in parentheses at the bottom of the page it's like, hey, by the way, buy the song on iTunes.
Buy the album. Oh my gosh, I really hope, because like there is a beautiful way of doing this. Like you can weave a story. I mean, obviously Dolly Parton's music is storytelling.
Yeah.
It's so like, to me, it wouldn't shock me if she actually did have a hand in this one.
I'm sure she has a hand. Everyone's gonna have a hand in these.
Well, okay, but there have been some people who have been on the cover of a Paterson novel that I'm like, look, two people, two authors, neither one of them wrote it.
Like Bill Clinton.
Are you going to talk about him? Because like,
well, I don't know. The list I pulled up is 40 celebrities. Let's flip to that. 40 celebrities who wrote fiction books. We're probably going to skip some. I'm going to skip anybody who is a reality TV star because I don't watch enough reality TV to know who any of them are unless they are a drag queen. So we're going to skip any reality stars.
Okay, but wait. This one already says that they admitted to using a ghostwriter.
Who?
This one is it? A few have admitted to using a ghostwriter. What is this?
This is the intro. To it, and we're not there yet.
Right.
So let's go through some of this list. It's 40 different celebrities. I don't know that we'll make it through all 40. I don't want to be here all night. But let's hit on some of the better ones. So we want to start with number one is Hilary Duff,
also known as one that I actually know.
Yeah, and then I also have to spend time explaining to Jen who the people are that she doesn't know. So Hilary Duff, it says she wrote a young adult novel in 2010 called Elixir. The book centers around Clea Raymond, a talented photojournalist whose life starts to unravel after her father's disappearance and the appearance of a mysterious stranger, Sage, who might be the only one who can help her. There's 3 books in the series. Devoted and True are the other 2 books. Maybe I could see it. YA, Hilary Duff? Sure.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna give this one. She probably wrote it. She probably had a book coach, which is a totally different thing. So you can ghostwrite. You can basically say, "Hey, here's my story idea. Here's some notes. Go to town. I'm gonna put my name on it. You get a paycheck."
Right.
Or a book coach is somebody who literally sits with you and takes apart every single thing and makes you kind of do homework. And I've done that too for people. So like, I could believe that Hilary Duff had a book coach, because I feel like she also has probably had acting coaches and singing coaches, and she's probably, that is how she lives her life, is I want to do a thing, I need an expert to help me, but I'm still going to do the work.
I also feel like anybody on this list, maybe not, but I feel like if you are a celebrity who is trying to quick cash grab a novel, you're not going to go through the trouble of writing a whole series, especially like YA, like a YA fantasy adventure series. You don't do that as a quick cash grab, right?
No, that's work. A series is work.
I feel like, let me make this prediction now. I feel like most of the ones that we're going to think are BS are the ones who write like inspirational stories about like you know, your beach reads or your Hallmark movies. I'd be less inclined to believe that you actually wrote that, especially if you just wrote the one, right?
Well, I don't know. It depends too, because like sometimes people just have a book inside them and they need to get it out, and then yeah, they're a one-off. But I would believe, so here's my bet. I don't know if there's any way to prove any of this, but I will go ahead and
this is all alleged. We can't make, like, we're just making assumptions. We don't know who actually did or did not write these books.
Yeah, but having worked with people who have never written a book before and like need help with it. I don't know. I will make my predictions based on my professional opinion.
Predictions that we can never prove, because I'm not doing that research.
Right. If you want to prove me wrong, I'm open to that. Prove me wrong. I'm doing this completely out of fun and, whatever.
I also wonder, some of these might tell us if they had a ghostwriter. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Lauren Graham. Jen, do you know who Lauren Graham is?
She looks super familiar. What was she in?
She was the mom on Gilmore Girls, and apparently she's also a terrible person. Like, people do not like working with her.
Really?
Her big thing is Gilmore Girls. She's done some other shows. She was on Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. I think she was on another like family drama show a few years back. She's done some theater. She's done some movies, but after Gilmore Girls, I feel like her career never got much bigger. Also, she's done, like, she can kind of sing. She's done some theater. She's like Guys and Dolls on Broadway. She seems like the kind of person who likes to try to stick her feet in a lot of different things, which makes me less inclined to believe that she wrote her book, but let's see.
Well, let's see what it's about.
Yeah. Before she penned 2 nonfiction books, so she's also written nonfiction, which I'm sure were about herself. Graham released Someday, Maybe, a novel about an aspiring actress who is trying to make it in New York City. She was quick to point out in an interview with USA Today at the time, the story is autobiographical in only the most general way. She says she wrote it on her days off from shooting Parenthood, which was the other television show she was in, and that she planned on writing a second book with some of the same characters, but she has not written any more of it since 2013.
Okay, then I believe that she did it.
You think so?
I'm gonna say that she probably did it. And okay, this one's really gonna blow you away. I'm gonna say she probably just had really good editors. I don't even think she had a book coach. I think that this was something that she had to get off her chest, and having lived, like she says, only in the most general way. But when you are living that lifestyle or living in a certain genre, let's say, in your life, I would say you are drawn to writing about it in some weird way. It's that release of like you and I should someday write a library like book thing series, because we live it. It's funny and there's weird stuff that happens. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna give this one, she wrote it and just had some good editors.
So far we're believing all the celebrities. Number 3, Britney and Lynn Spears. Lynn Spears is Britney Spears' mother. They did not write this. There's no freaking way.
No.
This was when she was when she was 19, this says? By February 2001, when she was 19, Britney Spears had already released 2 platinum albums, headlined international tours, and been nominated for a Grammy. Might as well also add published novels to the list. A Mother's Gift, the second book co-written by Britney and her mom, Lynn, tells a slightly familiar story. A girl from a small town, Mississippi, who dreams of being a superstar singer, and relies on the support of her mother when she's accepted into a prestigious school of music.
Oh, here we go. This is all proceeds going to Britney Spears Foundation and her camp. Yep, this was totally ghostwritten. Mom and Britney called this ghostwriter and left extensive voicemail messages or big long emails with no punctuation. And a ghostwriter did this.
I'm going to agree with all but one part of your statement. Britney Spears had nothing to do with this.
Oh,
Britney Spears' mom wrote that email and put her name, especially like knowing what we know now about how shitty Britney Spears' life has been. I don't believe for a minute that she had anything to do with this past her mom going, "Hey, Britney, I'm going to publish a book and you're going to write it with me, right? Wink, wink." And her going,
Okay, this is even funnier. I'd pay them to take this book off my desk, wrote a reviewer.
Yeah, this sounds like a mom vanity project and she used her daughter's fame to sell it. That's what this sounds like, right?
So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe, yeah, if she had a ghostwriter, they probably weren't a very good one. And then I feel really bad for this ghostwriter because this ghostwriter probably thought this was going to skyrocket their career and give them some good paychecks, but then it was never sent to an editor. Something to pay attention to. If you hire a ghostwriter, you still need to hire an editor. They're not the same thing.
What do you want to bet they didn't have a ghostwriter? Mom probably just wrote this book herself.
Oh my God, then they didn't have a ghostwriter or an editor, but I'm going to guess that they had a ghostwriter. But mom left crazy messages to this ghostwriter and the ghostwriter said, "Oh my God, I'm just going to type the crap out of this and get it done." And then and just give it to an editor. editor, but she never gave it to an editor.
I don't probably. I think you're right. I don't believe for a minute that Britney Spears had anything to do with that. That was her mom's vanity project. 100%. Number 4 is Chris Colfer. Do you know who Chris Colfer is?
I feel like I should know his books. Land of Stories. I know his books.
Yeah, Chris Colfer was Kurt on Glee. He's pretty much one of everybody's favorite characters on Glee. I 100% buy. He has written like a huge fantasy series. And I buy this because Chris Colfer is a huge nerd. I know it's because I used to watch a lot of Glee behind the scenes content as a teenager. And he's also written screenplays. Like he wrote and starred in his own screenplay right after Glee or towards the end of Glee. Like he's got a track record of writing. So I buy this.
I have flipped through this Land of Stories series too, because obviously it's in our library. I've looked at it.
It's middle grade. It's for kids.
Yeah, it's for kids. And so you can flip through it pretty quick. Also, like, yes, screenwriter, I now understand where these storylines come from. They are perfect screen-written storylines. They're formulaic, they're repetitive, but they're beautiful because they are great for kids. They give familiarity and they're comfortable to read. And yet they're big books. They're pretty big for like a kid book. So what it is like they're a great crossover for kids who are like, you really should be reading longer books, kid, but I know you need a comfort zone. So they're good like comfort reads for kids who need to be reading big kid books.
Well, it says right here they're turning it. They're in the works of turning it into a series, which I totally buy.
Yeah. And I bet you he has the scripts already written. That's probably how he wrote the books. Now, I will say it's a strong possibility too that he, as a screenwriter or script writer, that he wrote the script and the screenplay and all of that, but then handed it off to somebody else to bulk it into a book, which is a possibility.
Maybe.
Oh, I don't know. I would buy it that he has a big hand in it.
Here's the other thing about Chris Colfer that is not true of a lot of these is like, I mean, Hilary Duff has still worked in various television and projects. Lauren Graham, like I said, is always busy doing something. Chris Colfer, basically when Glee was over, stopped being an actor. So this has been his career for the past like 6, 7, 8 years. He stopped acting and this is what he does now. So I also buy that this is his full-time job and this is him.
Yes. I would say that I would be shocked also if he has a ghostwriter or whatever, but I definitely think he is not a pantser as far as writers are concerned.
No.
Plotter versus pantser. He is a plotter.
I guarantee you. I know Chris Colfer. He's got a wiki of his characters that he's had since he was 12.
Hey, this says 7. Since he was 7.
Since he was 7 years old. Yep.
I'm not going to lie. He might be my spirit animal.
Chris Colfer is like Brandon Sanderson Jr. He has just been doing this since he was a kid and happened to get on a TV show.
Yes. I will give it that. Okay. So yeah, he probably wrote these. That's cool.
I don't know much about Monique as an actress. Maybe we should skip her because I don't feel like I can make a fair judgment.
I don't know who that is at all.
Same with Isla Fisher. I mean, maybe Isla Fisher. She's an actress, but she's kind of like discount Amy Adams.
I don't know who Amy Adams is.
Amy Adams is an actress. Amy Adams is a really well-regarded, like, dramatic actress, and Isla Fisher kind of looks like her, which is people get them mixed up. But Isla Fisher mostly does dumb comedies. And like rom-coms and things like that. Like, I don't think she's kind of I wouldn't say like a B actress, but she just doesn't do the same kind of like stuff that a lot of other actors do. She's not a TV actress, she's a movie actress. I'm also pretty sure she's married to Borat, or she was at some point. She was married to Sacha Baron Cohen.
I have no idea. You are talking so many things right now that I hope
you don't know what Borat is, Jen?
I don't know what Borat is.
Well, anyway, apparently she wrote a kid series, and I don't think I care that much.
Okay,
maybe I think they've got kids, people celebrities when they have kids, quote unquote, write children's books for their kids. I would guess that it is co-written or it is ghost written.
I don't know. She's saying that it's like she 3 books about the adventures of Marge and her charges, Jakey and Jemima Button, for the US series. Let's see. I don't know. She says if her real editor, who is brilliant, asked me to cut something, but tiny people I have read it to have laughed in that moment, then I won't trim it. So I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Let's see who else is on this list. Lauren Conrad, pretty sure she's a reality star. We're skipping her. I'm getting picky now. There's too many. Oh, Tyra Banks didn't write her books.
You really think so?
So I have very little respect for Tyra Banks.
Okay, why?
You know who Tyra Banks is, right, Jen?
I do know who Tyra Banks is, and I don't know why we don't respect her.
Because she has a track record. That's why we don't respect her.
Oh.
If you've ever seen an episode of America's Next Top Model, have you in your life?
No.
They're just really awful and mean to those girls. And like now that like, you know, the culture is more conscious of like body shaming and stuff like that. If you go back and watch a lot of these episodes, she's just mean and she yells at them and she's really full of herself. And like I was watching like commentaries. Okay, now we're going on a top model tangent. I was watching these commentaries of a real photographer does of old top model episodes. And there's like an episode where they wanted to put all the actresses like in black face and yellow face and brown face, and they like the tea now is that they could not get a photographer to come shoot it, so Tyra came and shot it because she's an entrepreneur and a photographer and a model and an author and a talk show host. And like during when she had her talk show, she did an episode where she pretended to be homeless for a day to see how bad being homeless was, and then she did an episode for a day, and then she did an episode where she wore a fat suit to see if people treat her bad because she was fat. Also, Tyra Banks started an MLM. So I have no respect for Tyra Banks.
All right, I did not know all this stuff. I knew Tyra Banks. The only thing that I've ever seen Tyra Banks act in, there was a movie, it was like a made for kids movie about how she becomes like a living Barbie doll.
Yeah, I know which movie you're talking about. They made a sequel to that too. And I watched because I used to love that movie when I was a kid. And Lindsay Lohan in it, I cannot remember the name of this movie. She's a Barbie that comes to life, but she's not a Barbie.
Is it life size?
Maybe life size. I think that's right. I think you're
something like
correct.
that. I'm like, because I remember it was like My Size Barbie, and then like there was this life size Barbie movie, and
yeah, I think that is what it's called. I used to love that movie as a kid, and they made a sequel for like Amazon like 2 years ago, and it was so bad I couldn't make it through it.
Just so you know, I've never actually watched the movie. I just know like of the movie, if that makes sense.
Well, it was very like it came out when I was a kid and when Lindsay Lohan was like in the peak of her career as like a child actress. So like I grew up with that movie. It was you know right after watching Parent Trap and all those other Lindsay Lohan movies of that era. So this says, let's see, Tyra Banks smized. Do you know what smizing is, Jen?
I'm going to assume from context that she like wiggled her way in.
Smizing is smiling with your eyes.
Oh my god.
Smizing.
I'm thinking this is something else.
Tyra Banks smized her way onto the New York Times bestsellers list in 2011 with her young adult novel Model Land. But you know, Tyra never does anything halfway. Her sci-fi book takes place on an alternate Earth, according to Publishers Weekly, where amateur models compete to attend Model Land, an elite school where students are trained to be an intoxabella, aka a supermodel.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, well, these were her ideas anyway.
The new Dancing with the Stars host described the story as Harry Potter, Hunger Games, and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory meets America's Next Top Model. Literally, you could say those words to a ghostwriter.
Yes.
And they would know what they were doing.
And babble on incessantly into your phone, and the ghostwriter will be going, I'm getting a paycheck. I'm getting a paycheck.
Yeah, there's no way she wrote this. I don't believe for a minute that she wrote this.
No, but she definitely found every hashtag buzzword she could to make this a big seller.
Well, and Tyra Banks is also one of those people who she kind of dips her feet in every kind of like industry she can when it comes to entertainment.
I'm not going to knock people who do that.
No, but because of like her personality, it makes me feel like she would pay somebody to write a book for her just so she could say that that was also something that she did.
Yeah.
I had a talk show, I had a reality show, I had a movie, I had a makeup line in MLM that screwed people over because MLMs are awful. And also I wrote a book, you know, like I don't think she wrote her book.
No, she didn't write that one.
Let's move on from Tyra Banks. Tia and Tamara Mowry, maybe?
I don't know them.
They were on Sister Sister. They did the Twitches movies for Disney Channel. They're like former child stars. I think I don't know a ton about them. I don't because now I don't remember which one. I'm sorry. I get twins mixed up. One of them is on The Talk, which is one of those, I think it's The Talk, one of those The View spinoffs that not The View, but it's The View. It's daytime gossip television, which I don't watch even though I love drama.
I've never understood the purpose of shows like that. It literally is just listening to women.
Yeah, just listening to women talk about drama. So they wrote a series called Twin Tuition.
I don't know. You know what? I can totally believe, I feel like I believe them the same way I believe Hilary Duff.
Yeah.
They didn't write something out of their realm. They wrote something that is, tangible to them. They are twins. It's a fun series. It's a kid series. So it's pretty easy to pen something like this. And also there's two of them working together on this project.
It's also a 4-book series.
Yeah. They can toss it back and forth to each other. And, this is, to me, because they also seem very happy sitting together. I feel like this is like the sibling project. Like, hey, let's, instead of watching a movie, let's kick back and like shoot the shit about our book series and laugh and have a couple of glasses of wine while we do that. Like, I can get that. And also they probably had a book coach, one or both of them had a book coach who took them to the next level on it and said, hey, this is really what you guys want to do. But yeah, I give them a yes, they wrote this.
Okay. I agree with you. I buy that. Let's see who's next. Kourtney Kim and Khloe Kardashian.
Can we just skip to a big old no on this?
No, they didn't do it. Let me see. It was a fan contest that led to the name of Kourtney Kim and Khloe Kardashian's novel, Dollhouse. Won a cameo in the book as part of the prize. It's unclear how many people other than Kardashian fans kept up with the novel. Semi-autobiographical, follows 3 sisters who are working hard to help their family's struggling restaurant survive. That's not the part that's autobiographical, is it?
No.
Yeah, no. It's based on our life, but we've added a lot of crazy fictional twists and turns. Yeah, there's no way. We're gonna move on. There's no way.
Just skip it.
Chris Harrison, I don't really know who that is. I don't know who Shay Mitchell is either. We're gonna skip.
Wait, does that say Pretty Little Liars? Did she write Pretty Little Liars?
No, I think she was in Pretty Little Liars.
Oh, okay.
I didn't ever watch that show. More Kardashians. They didn't write theirs either. These are the Jenners, Kendall and Kylie.
Why are there so many of them? What is happening?
Because again, the Kardashians are the kind of people who will stick their foot in anything they think will make them money. They make makeup lines and clothing lines and books and music videos and TV roles, and like they'll do anything. They'll literally do anything for money. I don't think they really.
I would love to pick like you pick one and I pick one from these completely off the wall.
No.
And we need to read them.
I'm not reading a Kardashian book. Hell no.
Or maybe one of the other ones, maybe one of the kids series or something. I don't know. Who is this person?
This is Kristen Ritter. So I don't really know. She did some like movies and TV in like the early 2000s. I think she was on Veronica Mars, if I remember correctly. She was in Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23, which is apparently a modern adaptation of Taming of the Shrew. Don't quote me on that, but I heard that somewhere recently. She most recently was on Jessica Jones, a superhero Marvel TV show. Let's see. While looking for a next film project in between shooting as a part of Marvel actress Kristen Ritter, actress Kristen Ritter got fed up with the types of roles she was being offered. She wasn't into playing a stripper or the wife of a much older husband. She told New York Times in 2017 as neither were what she wanted to put into the world. Instead, Kristen used her time off to write her own novel with a flawed female main character who looks at the world through her noir-tinted glasses that you could definitely see the Jessica Jones star playing in a future screen adaptation. Bonfire focused on the story of Abby Williams, an environmental lawyer who finds herself back in the small town where she grew up and dealing with the people, scandals, and unsolved mysteries that she thought she had left behind. I buy it.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yes and no. I don't know her that well.
Yeah.
But she seems, I don't know, there's an energy to this that's like, hey, I really want a part. I really want to play this part.
Maybe.
And so I'm going to write this and hopefully somebody in Hollywood will pick it up and give me the main lead part to it. I don't know. I think she had a lot of help.
Maybe.
I don't know if full-on ghostwriter, but I think she had a lot of help.
I wonder too, like, because I know from what I know about music, you often get songwriters who then kind of go, okay, well, I wrote a song, I'm going to send it to Rihanna, or I'm going to send it to Britney Spears, or I'm going to send it to this singer and that singer, and we'll see who wants it and who wants to record it. I wonder, you should maybe know this, do you get ghostwriters that go, hey, I've got an idea for this story, it will work really well, as a vehicle for such and such Kardashian.
I don't know ghostwriters that go that route, but it's possible. I'm not saying it isn't a thing that can happen.
Was there some girl who was watching lots and lots of Next Top Model while also reading The Hunger Games and then wrote a fan fiction that they sent to Tyra Banks and you want to put your name on this?
Oh, that's not a ghostwriter. That's a desperate fan. And also that has big stalker vibes. I'm just going to say. Like, if I were any of these famous people and one of my fan fiction writers sent me a thing and said, hey, I think we should turn this into a book, I'd be like, stalker.
Okay, maybe not a fan, but like my point is like, maybe there's publishers or writers or whatever that get these ideas and then shop them to celebrities. Is that a thing?
I think that, yes, I'm kind of thinking more it's like their agent goes looking for
vehicles that they can use. I don't believe that's the case with Kristen Ritter, because this sounds like she had an idea, whether she actually wrote it or not. This is 100% her idea.
Yeah, but I don't know.
But if someone told me that Tyra Banks got assigned a book by a publishing house or by her manager, I would not be surprised.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. Oh my gosh,
Sharon Osbourne. She got canceled.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think she did a racist thing. I don't know, because I don't follow Sharon Osbourne, because I couldn't care less. After 2 autobiographies, one of which became the best-selling autobiography by a woman since the category started, Sharon Osbourne turned her attention to fiction. Instead of the expected downfall of a romantic relationship, Revenge tells the story of the competitive dynamic between 2 sisters who fight over men and fame and have a lot of sex along the way.
Okay, I think maybe if she wrote this, she was probably like, I don't know.
The plot just sounds so generic
and trash.
Did someone go, Sharon, trash is your aesthetic. You want to put your name on this book?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of don't buy this. Sharon Osbourne wrote her book. BJ Novak wrote the children's book, The Book with No Pictures.
I love that book.
Collection of short stories called One More Thing. BJ Novak, you don't know who he is, do you?
I don't, but I love that book.
He is one of the writers, I think he produced, wrote, and was in The Office, The American Office. And he was one of the writers. I buy that he also wrote a kid's book. He wrote for the show. I think he kind of wrote himself into the show, because in the first season of the show, there's an intern that he plays. And he was also one of the writers at the time. The Office is a weird thing, because now we're going on an Office tangent. The Office is an American adaptation of a British show, but like a bunch of the actors on the show, I think were cast as like extras. A lot of them have their own names. So like Phyllis, the actress's name is actually Phyllis, I believe. Oscar's actual name is Oscar. Like a lot of the characters just use their own names because they didn't have character names. It's weird. But BJ Novak basically wrote a role for himself in that show, I believe. He played Ryan the intern. But yeah, I buy that. He wrote
I totally believe that he wrote that book. Also, I love that book.
Carrie Fisher, definitely. She wrote a ton of stuff.
Did she?
Oh, yeah. Because after her Star Wars days, you know who Carrie Fisher is, right, Jen?
Yes, I know who Carrie Fisher is. I know who Princess Leia is.
So after Star Wars and George Lucas basically ruined her life, she had a lot of mental health issues, but she did a lot of like not stand up, but she did like one woman shows. She wrote a lot of not like books about her life she won a bunch of awards for because they were incredibly funny. So I totally buy that she also wrote fiction. Again, she kind of turned that into a career after Star Wars ruined her acting career.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but
yeah. Was it one of them's called, I think, like Wishful Drinking or something? It's the one with Princess Leia's head on the table with the bottle of booze.
Oh, yeah.
Or the martini. Yeah, yes. She wrote that.
Oh.
Yeah, like an autobiography of her life. She wrote, Carrie Fisher wrote 7 books throughout her career. Her first in 1987, Postcards from the Edge, is the story of a young actress who is struggling to rebuild her life while battling a drug addiction. So semi-autobiographical.
Yeah.
But still able to find the humor in everything. They adapted Postcards into a film starring Meryl Streep and Shirley MacLaine. She went on to write 3 more novels and 3 autobiographies about her own struggles with drug addiction, fame, and of course, Star Wars. So yeah,
her daughter is started acting and stuff too.
Mm-hmm. Well, she was in the last Star Wars, the last couple.
Yeah, she was a more minor character in the last couple. She's also in American Horror Story as a major character. Oh, look, another one.
Naomi Campbell. Again, I don't know enough about Naomi Campbell.
Okay, we'll skip that one then. We'll cut that one.
Well, let's read this. This sounds fun. Hold on. With the release of Naomi Campbell's first and only novel, Swan, the buzz came with rumors that international supermodel maybe wasn't the only person who had penned the story of the world's most successful supermodel who was looking to appoint her successors before she retires. It quickly emerged that most of Swan was written by Naomi's editor, Carolyn Upcher, which led to the making of Cut Star's agent to state that while Caroline may have been the writer, Naomi was the author. There you go. That answers the question for us.
I do not like the quotation writer and quotation author. That makes me really uncomfortable. Like, just say that you had a ghostwriter. Just admit it. Like, that's weird.
Well, that's her manager saying that. So, or her agents. They have to say stuff like that. Steve Martin.
Oh, he totally wrote his stuff.
Let's see, what's his book about? Shop Girl, released in 2000, tells the story of a woman who works at the glove counter at a department store and her search for companionship.
Didn't this get turned into a film?
Maybe.
I feel like Shop Girl got turned into a film.
Yeah, it says that here. Hold on. Told Time that when he first started working on the story, he thought of it would be 10 pages, and then the pages began accumulating on the word processor. In 2005, the comedy legend adapted the 130-page novella into a film starring Jason Schwartzman himself and Claire Danes.
I like Claire Danes. I believe he wrote that.
I want to watch that. Now I will find that movie.
He is a writer. Like, he writes his jokes. He writes, and like, I know some actors. I have heard that he also will like rewrite pages in scripts of films that he had worked on. So like, he's like, no, this is better. Like, yeah. Which is kind of a douchey thing to do, but also like that tells me that he probably wrote this.
I would also buy that literally anybody who comes out of SNL could write their own stuff, because most of them are writers also. They're all pitching bits. They're all doing comedy writing.
Yeah.
Pretty much everybody on SNL is also writing in some capacity. So anybody coming out of SNL, I would buy is writing their own stuff.
Well, and especially if he thought it was only going to be like a 10-page thing, and then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, you have a novel. And he probably did hand it off to somebody and go, hey, what do you think? And they went, more? And he's like, oh, shit. And had to write more.
Here's a fun one. This is number 20. We're 20 in. Maybe we'll make it. Nah, we'll see. Julie Andrews. It says Julie Andrews, under her married name Julie Andrews Edwards, has been writing books for kids and young adults since the 70s.
All right. Well, maybe.
Alongside her daughter, Emma Walton Hamilton, the Oscar winner runs the Julie Andrews Collection, a selection of books by Julie and other authors that nurture the imagination and celebrate a sense of wonder. She's written over a dozen books, including the very Fairy Princess series. I'd buy it.
I do.
She's an old grandma who does voiceover work and nothing else these days.
Yeah, I could see this. What's really sad is like the actors that are doing youth series or kids book series, it's more believable. And I think it's because that's the kind of thing that you can decompress on.
Yeah.
Like if your mind is constantly working on things and constantly bubbling on stress and all this stuff, the idea of I'm just going to kick back and write a silly story about these little characters feels very genuine for the creative mind.
And as we said at the beginning too, I'm more inclined to believe that somebody who took the time to write or co-write even a 12-book children's series or teen series or a 4-book series is more committed to it than the actor who put out one book about being an actress in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Or about something that's literally their career, right?
Yeah.
So I'd buy it. I'd buy Julie Andrews writes her own book. She's a grandma. She's got time. Molly Ringwald, we're gonna skip. I don't care about Molly Ringwald.
But I know who Molly Ringwald is.
You want to go back to Molly Ringwald?
I will just say that I know who she is.
Hugh Laurie. Hugh Laurie is funny.
Face.
Let's see what it say.
Why do I know his face?
You don't know who Hugh Laurie? Jen, shame. Half of Fry and Laurie. He was House on House. It's Hugh Laurie. So Fry and Laurie was a British comedy duo in like the 60s. And House.
I know who Stephen Fry is.
But you don't know who Hugh Laurie is?
Oh.
What kind of a world are we living in, Jen? And House is medical Sherlock Holmes, the drug addict who's really good at knowing what illness you have. And also it's not lupus. It's never lupus. They always see if it's lupus first, and it's never lupus, except for that one episode where it was lupus.
Oh my gosh.
He wrote a satirical novel called The Gun Seller in 96. I'd buy it. I'm pretty sure that he wrote a lot of what was on Fry and Laurie. I think they wrote that stuff together.
I don't know. I feel like he probably took a lot of the stuff that he wrote and then like handed it off to somebody and said, "Here, turn this into a book.
Maybe
take my drivel and turn it into a book."
Well, they say it's like a spy version of Douglas Adams. So I mean, I'd buy that it's him. Maybe not, but I buy that it's him. I think we're losing steam here. Ethan Hawke.
I know who Ethan Hawke is.
You care about Ethan Hawke?
I used to really care about Ethan Hawke.
3 novels and 1 graphic novel. Yes or no, Jen? Quick fire.
We can move on, but I absolutely used to be in love with Ethan Hawke.
Well, as your dearest love, do you believe that he wrote 3 novels and a graphic novel?
Yes, because of course he can.
You're biased, but okay.
I clearly have a type. I'm sorry.
Madonna.
No, Madonna did not write those. Madonna did not write those.
Oh my god, yeah, I don't. What does it say she wrote? 30 books, 11 coffee table books. That doesn't count. Those are like all pictures. 12 chapter books and 7 picture books for kids. Can you hear the dog barking in the background?
I can hear the dog barking.
Son of a bitch. Hold on. This is a mess of a podcast today. I'm gonna cut all of it out. She wrote the English Rose series. Was that when she thought she was British?
Oh my gosh. Oh, this woman.
Yeah, I don't believe that she wrote these. Maybe I'm just biased, but I don't.
When she was in Kabbalah too. Remember when she was all into like Kabbalah?
Madonna's just such a phony person. I don't believe it.
My god. She's got so many faces. Anyway.
50 Cent.
50 Cent. Oh my god, we're just gonna skip that and say no. I could be so wrong, but I'm just gonna say no.
Maybe.
Oh, wait, he has his own publishing imprint.
Yeah, so maybe.
What the heck?
What does it say? Focuses on Butterball, a student who is bullying others because he lacks the tools to deal with his emotions. Maybe it was I need to get my feelings out in a book.
I think this was a his therapist told him to get his feelings out in a book.
Tom Hanks. I kind of don't believe that Tom Hanks wrote a book either.
Really?
Yeah.
But it's Tom Hanks.
Oh, doesn't mean he can write a book. Just because he can't play Walt Disney and he can't write a book.
Okay, fine.
We're not even giving us a chance now. We're just like, nope. He said he worked on screenplays. The neighbors are probably doing something in their yard, so he's barking. Says he worked on screenplays. He did a rewrite with, who did he write this with? Nora and fellow screenwriter Della Ephron. Nora's sister. Who's Nora?
Screenwriter Nora Ephron.
Screenwriter. Oh, okay. So he wrote it with other people.
They couldn't sell it without his name on it.
He did a rewrite with them, and when the film was released, Nora told him, "You wrote that." He wrote a collection of short stories. Okay, that's not whatever. We're skipping that. Not that short stories aren't relevant, but it's not what we're looking for. Julianne Moore. No, let's skip Julianne Moore too.
Wait, did she write the freckle face thing?
Let's see. Julianne Moore was little. One of the names she was often called by other kids was Freckle Face Strawberry due to her red hair and her face covered in freckles. The joke ended up being one of those school-age playmates. The Academy Award winner turned the nickname into the title of a character's best-selling children's series.
What? She wrote that?
I guess so. Okay. Sure. Yeah, I buy it.
I believe that. Oh my gosh. Have you seen that book series?
I have not. It's a kid series?
Yeah. It's like they're like really skinny. There's like maybe 100 words in the whole books. But they're adorable, and I would believe that they are hers. And you are skipping past them before I can read them now, so
yeah, I don't know. I don't think I care about Nicole Richie. Again, reality stars. We're skipping the reality stars. Pete Wentz. I kind of don't believe that he wrote a book either.
I don't know who he is.
Okay, Fall Out. He's from Fall Out Boy.
I don't know who that is.
He's from Fall Out Boy. Semi-autobiographical novel. Again, these semi-autobiographical ones, it's like, when I was a kid, this thing was hard. Can someone write me a book about that? Like,
yeah,
I don't buy semi-autobiographical novels. It's about a man who also happens to be a rock star and also has some issues with drugs, women, and fame that he needs to work out.
Yeah, no. Lame. Okay, moving. We're on 32.
We're 32. We can get to the end of the list. Bella Thorne, she was a Disney Channel star who now is into makeup or something. It says she's got a fantasy trilogy.
Oh, well, maybe.
Maybe.
What's the name of the trilogy? Anything but traditional for Autumn Falls. The title character. Oh, Autumn Falls.
I don't know what that is. Maybe.
I feel like I've seen these books go by like recently. I don't know. Anyway, moving on.
Jimmy Fallon. I don't think Jimmy Fallon wrote that book either. He wrote a picture book. I don't.
Oh yeah, no, he totally got somebody to write that picture book for him and then put his name on it. Oh wait, except that now you are backtracking because he is an SNL person.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. What's his name? Also wrote a book. The other late night host. Jimmy Kimmel, I think, also wrote a kid's book.
Yes, there are a lot of Jimmy Kimmel books out there. So maybe they did get together and get drunk one night and write kid books.
Yeah, maybe.
By the way, people get drunk and write kid books. David Duchovny, oh my God. You know that he was in a TV series called Californication, which is about a writer who is totally like losing his shit.
So do you think that he actually wrote these books?
I don't know. Either he wrote the books to promote the TV show, but also like is the dude standing behind him his agent or something? Because there's a guy in the TV series that is his agent and looks just like that dude.
Jen, are you reading this though? Okay. The subject of David Duchovny's first novel is both exceedingly normal and exceedingly not. The main character of the X-Files stars book Holy Cow is, of course, a globe-trotting bovine named Elsie.
Talk about getting drunk and writing a book. Dude, he totally wrote it.
David, who comes from a family of writers and majored in English at Princeton, told Salon that writing a novel is something that he wanted to do for a while, although the discipline associated with writing was hard for him to master.
Oh my gosh. See, Californication. See, yep.
Yeah, okay.
I think his mom was probably like, hey, everybody else in the family has written books. Why haven't you written a book? Get it together. Also, now you're playing a writer. You can't be honest about playing a writer until you've written a book. And he's like, fine, mom, I'm writing a book. And he wrote it about a freaking cow. That like 100% believe that he wrote that to be like, mom, yeah.
I buy it. Apparently Snooki wrote a book called A Sure Thing. No, she didn't.
No, she didn't.
Sidney Poitier. I think so. I'd buy that.
Really?
Again, like he wrote a book in 2013. Like, what else is he doing with his time?
Yeah, I guess that's true. Either that or you know what else is like his agent probably said, hey, do something, write a book. And he said, okay, I'm hiring somebody to write me a book. Just so my name is relevant again. Oh my God, Pamela Anderson. No, Pamela Anderson did not write that book.
We need to wrap this up because he's getting mad.
But we only have like a few more to go. And Pamela Anderson writing a semi-autobiographical based on her marriage to Tommy Lee is not written by her. Yeah, no. That was her getting drunk and leaving horrible messages on her ghostwriter's voicemail. Yes.
Tim Burton. Yeah, he wrote those. He writes movies. I mean, I believe that he'd write a weird short story and make it a book.
Also, he's a weirdo. He's a weird dude.
Yeah, he's so weird that Helena Bonham Carter left him. So
yeah, okay. So like, I like to talk about the fact that there are certain people who, you know, we talk about past lives of people sometimes, and it's like this dude was Oscar Wilde in a past life.
Probably.
Oscar Wilde did not quit. He just said, "I'm coming back for more, and I'm coming back weirder," and then that's what happened. Oh, Wesley Snipes. I totally believe that he did.
Yeah, I do too. I believe that.
Yeah, because again, what else is he doing?
Well, and like, isn't Wesley Snipes like kind of an odd duck? So I believe that he'd write some weird novel.
Yeah, but again, book coach, big time book coach. I went from I'm taking this very seriously and I'm doing professional to, by the way, yes. All right. Oh my God.
Last one is Jay Leno. He wrote a book called If Roast Beef Could Fly. Little Jay, whose hunger threatens his family, end of summer. Okay. If Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel wrote there, so did Jay Leno. If not, none of them did. Like,
right. Yeah. If then, this is a total if then statement. Yes. Yeah. And also, I'm willing to bet they all got together, got freaking high and wasted, and went, we're writing kid books tonight. This is what's happening. And little Jimmy can fly.
So that was an hour of us showing our biases on what kind of books we think are more likely to have actually been written by people than other kinds of books.
Yeah, shall we disclaimer, this is all just our opinion. We have done no research on this, but it was a lot of fun. Thanks for playing. And And this leads us to the other topic that we wanted to talk about in a future episode, probably very near future, maybe right after our CocoCon one, which, by the way, will be at CocoCon virtually. Yay!
Broadcasting.
We mean sitting in pajamas in my living room and then broadcasting through their Discord.
Yeah, it probably also won't be an episode that we like record. It's going to be more of like we're going to play a game where you have to guess things about covers with us.
Yes, so go attend and register for CocoCon. It's all virtual and it's on Discord. And I'm pretty sure it's free to register this time because it is all virtual. So you have no excuse. Come play a game with us.
I agree.
Hang out. It's on a Sunday that we'll be playing a game. So yes.
You can drink because you're at your own house.
Yes. And would you like to play a game? Yes. All right. I'm a freak. Okay. So yes, the other thing that we wanted to talk about though was the novels and series and things that are written by completely fictitious celebrities like Jessica Fletcher and Richard Castle.
We cannot think of any other. We haven't really thought of any other examples of that, except like I brought up Lemony Snicket, but I don't know if Lemony Snicket counts because the thing about Jessica Fletcher, right?
Yeah.
And Castle is that they are characters in a television show, and there's also a book series published under those characters. Whereas Lemony Snicket is like a character in the book. I don't know if he counts. We'll talk about it.
I don't know, but I love to. That's going to be a future episode, a very near future episode. So maybe we can call it a part 2 to this episode.
And if you know of any other examples of that, let us know.
Yes. Also, we'll probably talk about children's book series who are written by like Daisy Meadows because they're all about flower fairies and and things like that because they are not real people anymore that write them. They are written by a camp of people under a certain name.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of like the Geronimo Stilton. They're all written as Geronimo Stilton books. They're not written by one author.
Right. So, yes. And I think we did a pretty good job with this, though, picking this apart on this article.
You made it about halfway through before you just kept going, nope, sure, like, nope, sure.
Moving along. I think you should link to the article, though, so people can read.
Yeah, I will.
We noped him out so fast.
And you can decide for yourself which of these celebrities you think are actually, I mean, like I said, I think some of them we just buy more than others because we believe the ones who have put effort into writing more than one book that was loosely based on their own life.
Yeah. Also, writing a book is difficult and time consuming, and you have to be focused and dedicated to it. And if all you're good at, sorry, some of you celebrities, if all you're good at is standing around and looking pretty, writing a book is going to be freaking hard for you, and you're going to cry the whole time.
A lot of these celebrities too, the ones that we didn't buy, especially celebrities like the Kardashians or Pamela Anderson or Tyra Banks. Is it bad that we just assume that pretty women can't write books? But they're all people who are good at marketing themselves.
Yes.
So to me, it almost comes off more like the book was just one more way for them to market themselves versus they wrote a book because they wanted to write a book, which is the main reason why I don't buy that they wrote their own books because
they wanted. Their agent said, hey, this is a great marketing tool.
Right. Their entire celebrity is based around coming up with other gimmicks to make themselves be in the zeitgeist, which is the reason why I don't think that these people wrote these books.
Right. It doesn't really have anything. And when I say stand around look pretty, I mean like they don't have really any talent other than like, hey, look at me. And
yeah, they're influencers.
I mean, bless them for that. That's great. But like, it's also, and writing is not something you can do in the public eye. And a lot of these people are like, they have to be seen doing their thing. So like even musicians and stuff, they have to be seen in the midst of doing this thing. They have to be on stage. They have to perform in some way. And books is not a performance. It's alone in your pajamas writing and nobody gives a shit until it's done. And then most of the time they don't even know who you are because your picture is maybe a white little tiny picture in the back of the book, so yeah, it's not a look at me thing. It's I don't know, it's a little too cerebral maybe for some people who really want to be seen, see and be seen. I don't know, that's just my take on it.
Also, Bill Clinton wasn't on the list, but he didn't write his book either.
No, he and Patterson, neither of them wrote that book. Patterson said, hey Bill, I got something for you.
Didn't Obama also write a children's book about his dog or something?
I don't know. I don't know. But also, there is that weird mystery novel, action novel about Obama and Biden shooting criminals or something.
They didn't write that though. That's written by somebody else.
No, it's written by somebody else, but it's ridiculous. And it's like cracks me up every time it comes across. And I'm like, I kind of want to have this awful collection of these were bad books written by like past presidents. These are garbage. Don't read them.
I now find myself leaning more towards maybe Jimmy Fallon than them wrote those books. I feel like I also give a little more props to celebrities and maybe Isla Fisher too, and like Julianne Moore, people who have actual children, because I've noticed this about celebrities with movies. You'll notice like a lot of like big action stars, when they reach a certain age, start doing a lot of children's movies.
Yes.
Like The Rock has been doing Disney movies the last like 3 or 4 years. And it's usually when they start to have kids and they want to produce something that their children can have. And so these celebrities who their previous career was SNL, that's not really something they can, or really deep, disturbing dramas or adult rom-coms. Those are not things they can share with their children. So I would buy that once they start having children, they also start producing something for their children. If not children's movies, then children's books, picture books, YA series. So I also lean more towards, I think that they wrote those two just because it's a trend with celebrities that they want to put something out there for their children to be able to enjoy that they've produced.
Yeah, I absolutely think that's the case.
Yeah, I'd buy that they at least partially wrote it.
Yeah, I know that like when my kid was younger, I wanted to do things that were more geared towards something he could enjoy,
right?
Or at least be around without being like, what the heck, you know? But as he got older, I lost a lot of that, and I was like, okay, now I'm gonna do something that's kind of cool for me. And now that he is a grown-up, I'm like, hey, guess what weird thing I'm doing now?
Yeah.
He's like, oh my god, Mom.
So I buy a lot of those too. A lot of, the picture books written by the former comedy writer.
Yeah,
I'm sure they can do it. They've written in the past, and they probably wrote, Jimmy Fallon wrote a book because he's got 2 kids,
Yeah.
I buy it. All right, I think we should probably finish this.
Yeah, now that we've totally tangented out of the realm of things. But anyway, yes, come see us at CocoCon. This is me plugging that again.
Come see how unprepared I am for CocoCon.
Also, are you going to have this out before CocoCon?
This is going out next week, so yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Right before CocoCon.
Right before CocoCon. Quit saying those words to me.
You're prepared, Mary, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I haven't started shit. So
oh my gosh.
I have nothing, Jen. I have nothing.
Well,
ready.
then in that case, we should wrap this episode so you can get to work.
Or go eat dinner.
Go eat dinner, that too.
All right. Until next time, y'all.
Thank you so much for cracking another case with Mary and Jen. To learn more about Casing the Cover, follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Casing the Cover. To contact us or suggest a book, email casingthecoverpod@gmail.com. New episodes of Casing the Cover release the 4th Tuesday on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Stitcher.